study is based on the ancient Kabbalist book of formation, Sefer Yetzirah, and the writings of the 13th century Jewish Kabbalist Abraham Abulafia, and the recognition that the key to understanding our world is found in a combination of three fundamentals of human existence, three areas that are uniquely synthesized in Hebrew: thought, mathematics, and language. When speaking of the language of creation, we are speaking of a very powerful language that is capable of creating objects in space, entities that consist of matter, shape, and dimension. Therefore, it should be scientific and mathematical. Here, geometric study, the visual side of mathematics, fits in, where mathematics and the eye connect. Sacred geometry attaches special significance to numbers and ratios, such as the golden ratio. Plain geometric shapes, such as a square, triangle, pentagon, or hexagon, have a reference to numbers, to which are added depth and emotional and symbolic meaning by the fact of our ability to also see each number visually. 3 as triangle, 6 as hexagon, and so on. The principles of sacred geometry are found in architectural plans of religious buildings, temples, monuments, and national symbols. They are likewise in every work of art belonging to the ancient world, classical or Renaissance art. Geometry is a branch of natural science and reflects the mathematical rules that operate in the world. Kabbalistic geometry in Hebrew is a regular geometry embedded in the decimal system and illustrates the relationship between numbers, dimensions, and geometric shapes. But because the letters are numbers, dimensions are also words, names, or phrases. As I would show in several examples, Hebrew words are naturally present as fundamental dimensions in geometry and in the dimensions of planet Earth and the Moon, proving that the language of nature is sacred because it is scientific, mathematical, and geometrical. It is multidimensional, yet to be investigated and explored in other fields. In Gematria, the system of numerical values of letters, the word God, ELOHIM, equals to 86, the value of the word nature, HaTeva. If so, God is the nature. Therefore, Hebrew, known as the language of God, is also the language of nature. Let us test this statement in the field of geometry. Let us enter the alphanumeric domain, the world of letters and numbers, to understand some basic concepts related to the 32 mysterious paths of wisdom. 32 netivot pliot are the tools of creation and the forces driving the universe. The 32 are made of 22 fundamental letters plus the ineffable 10 sefiroth. 22 plus 10 equals 32. In Hebrew, the word nivra, created, refers to the 22 letters, since the sum of the first 22 numbers is 253, which equals to the word nivra. If the visible material universe is to be created by the saying of words, even as vibration, one needs letters for this capable language. So what was created in the beginning is a language, 22 letters, and the decimal system as a mathematical mean. So the word created, nivra, is the sum of 22 fundamental Hebrew letters. The 10th sefira, malchut, kingdom, refers to the kingdom of language, in other words, to the 22 letters, since the sum of the geometric value of 22 letters from 1 to 400 amounts to 496, and the word kingdom, malchut, which is also the word tumim, the oracle of the Kohen. However, the concept of language, safa, or shechina, shekinah, the divine presence, relates to mathematics and to the decimal system, namely the 10 sefiroth. Since the sum of the first 10 digits in a square is 385, meaning shechina, the divine presence, safa, language, or asiyah, action, and so the 10th sefira, malchut, is in the realm of Asia, the fourth world of Abia, Atzilut, Beriah, Yetzirah, Asiyah. To conclude all, the sum of the first 10 numbers, in ascending order from 1 to 10, adds up to 55, which in Hebrew means everything, hakol. All one needs to understand is the mathematics of 10 sefiroth, 10 commandments, and get familiar with the decimal system as the chosen base for math, and natural choice for operating nature. 55 means hayam, the sea, kala, bride, hakol, everything, all. The sentence, all is truth, hakol emet in Gematria 496, equals to the word malchut, kingdom. Until this point, I have emphasized the monopoly that letters and the decimal system have over Kabbalist concepts like kingdom, Shekhinah, and the holy name of God. The earth and the moon. The intrinsic connection between the decimal system and nature is found in the dimensions of earth and preserved in several ways. First, the circumference of planet Earth. 40,000 kilometers is identical to the circumference of the decimal square, 10,000 kilometers over 10,000 kilometers. This illustrates the expression squaring the circle, or rather, circling the square. Second, if we draw a circle with decimal radius of 10,000 kilometers, as seen on the right, it will contain both the Earth and the Moon, orbiting it 30 times and creating vesica Pisces, like the number of days in a month. Third, the relative size of the Moon, in comparison with Earth, can be calculated in accordance with a double tetrahedron inscribed within a globe the size of Earth, with the Moon in its entirety concealed in its center, as can be seen on the upper left side. The size of the Moon is compatible with the movement or the fluctuation of the equatorial plane. Fourth, the letter Aleph in Gematria, equaling 111, reflects the decimal system by declaring number 1 as the head of singles, 1 as the head of tens, 1 as the head of hundreds, and 1 as the head of thousands, and so on. Everything starts from 1 and returns to 1. Aleph 111 is the length in kilometers of each degree on the circumference of Earth. In other words, 360 degrees times 111 equals 40,000 kilometers, which is Earth circumference. In Gematria, the word formation, Yetzirah, has the same value as the word diameter, koter. If so, the book of formation, or Sefer Yetzirah in Hebrew, is the book of diameter, and indeed this most ancient Kabbalist book describes the formation of a three-dimensional universe. The act described in the book, which is called chakak v'chatzav, inscribed and carved, has the numerical equivalent of 314, which is SHADAI, the name of God that signifies his total control of the universe, as well as the name METYATRON, also 314, known in geometry as METYATRON, cube. If so, then inscribed and carved, chakak v'chatzav, is a clear reference to geometry, since 314 is the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 100, and the root factor, known as pi, equals 3.14. If we plot a circle with diameter 100, with circumference of SHADAI or METYATRON, such as the yellow circle on the left, and inscribe within it an equilateral triangle, the purple triangle, we will find that the length of each side of the triangle is 86. This is the numerical equivalent for the word God, ELOHIM, or nature, HaTeva. If we draw a circle with the diameter of ELOHIM, God, or nature, HaTeva, meaning 86, the pink circle on the right, we will find that the circumference is 541, equals to the word Israel, Israel. Let's continue this geometric tour with METYATRON, SHADAI, and maintain the decimal system and the letter Aleph as 1, 10, 100, and 1000. Let us go back to the Hebrew letters and move to the 9th sefira of Yesod, Nonagon. Kingdom, Malchut, as we saw in arithmetic, belongs to the 22 letters and 10 sefiroth, and Israel is a circumference of a circle with radius God, ELOHIM, 86. In the diagram on the right, we see how the 27 Hebrew letters are arranged in 3 rows and 9 columns, according to their numerical equivalent value, gematria. The first row of units, Aleph to Tet. The second row of tens, Yod to Tzadi. And the third row of hundreds, Kuf through Tzadi Sofi. The first column amounts to 111, Aleph, on the right, and the last column is 999, which in Gematria equals to the name Lord of Hosts, SAR-TZEVAOT. One could place the 27 letters on the circumference of a circle divided into 9, a Nonagon, as used in art combinatoria. Going back to the circle with diameter 100 and circumference of SHADAI, METYATRON, divided into 9 parts, since Yesod is the 9th sphere. We will again find the dimension 86, ELOHIM, God, or nature, HaTeva, as a side of the triangle, and the name of God, Yehova, 26, as the radius of inner circle, on the left side, marked in brown, and the word Adonai, Lord, 65, as a diameter of a second inner circle that passes through intersection points, and the word ANOCHI, I, 81. And if we look at the dimensions of the vesica Pisces, we will discover that the length is 30 and the height is 17. So the 2 words are obtained. That means kitov, that is good, and Elohim, God, saw the light, that it was good, kitov. The values of the Hebrew letters are whole numbers only. Therefore, dimensions are calculated as whole numbers without the remainder. The measurements of the vesica Pisces in the Nonagon in a circle with a diameter 86, God, Elohim, are as follows. The height, 15, and the length, 26. These are equivalent numerically to 2 words in Hebrew, 15, Yah, and 26, Yehova. And so we get the holy name, Yah, Yehova. All this takes place in a circle with a diameter of 45, which is Adam, man. Adam b'tzelmenu kidmutenu. Let us make man in our image and shape or identity. The word man equals to 45, equals to 3 times Yah. If so, all these names for God, Yah, Yehova, Elohim, SHADAI, ANOCHI, Adonai, SAR-TZEVAOT, are measurements revealed by the angle METYATRON. The word angel, malach, equals to the word artist. Both in Gematria are 91. Therefore, the word for angel, malach, points towards handiwork, works of art, points towards doing something practically, action. Since it refers to language, it means the act of combining letters into words. The act of creation is God's handiwork, a multidisciplinary art of nature, a spontaneous art which happens by itself and combines language, mathematics, dimensions, and geometry. Let's examine another Kabbalistic idiom known as Rala She'arim, the 231 gates. This phrase appears in the Book of Formation, Sefer Yetzirah, and points out 231 possible combinations of any 2 Hebrew letters. On the circumference of a circle, we shall mark 22 letters and pass a straight line between any 2 letters. Each line represents 2 possible combinations between 2 letters. This intrinsic relationship between 22 letters and 10 sefiroth may be seen if you squint and look to the center of the circle. You will notice that the grid lines of the 22 letters create 10 internal circles. To represent the 231 gates geometrically, we will plot a circle with a radius of 1000, Aleph. One of the inner circles has a diameter of 913. This is the word Bereshit, Genesis, in the beginning. Around the Genesis circle is the ring with a width of 177, Gan Eden, Garden of Eden. Around the ring of Garden of Eden is a ring with a width of 365, as the number of days in a year. Since everything happens inside a diameter of 2000, this is a kind of natural illustration of the sentence Bara Torah, created the Torah, 2000 years before the creation of the world, Bereshit. So both measures 2000 and Bereshit 913 are embedded in the 231 gates and in the decimal system diameter 1000. Let's check another Kabbalistic idiom, the tree of life, Etz HaChaim, and find out the geometric source of this unique arrangement and what kind of knowledge it holds. The tree of life, or the 10 sefiroth, serves as a mean to expose the hidden essence in the Hebrew language, which gives its words an additional meaning which is neither semantic nor verbal, but numerical, quantitative, mathematical, and formative. This scheme is a blueprint of a self-sustained creation device, capable of translating theory, principles, or natural rules to the realm of formation. The third world out of 4 worlds, known as Abiyah, Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. To construct a tree, we will draw 7 circles with a diameter of 100, allegory of the 6 days of creation around the unique 7th day, Shabbat. The centers of 3 circles along the middle line, plus 7 overlapping points, indicate the 10 sefiroth of the tree of life. You can see that the distance between the verticals, i.e., between the right line and the left, is 86, namely the word God, ELOHIM. The distance between the middle line and the farthest edge of the circles on the left and on the right is 136, equivalent to the word voice, kol. We look at the tree of life which grows in the Garden of Eden and see kol, voice, 136 on the right, and voice kol 136 on the left. Et kolcha shamati bagan. I heard your voice in the garden, Adam said to Elohim, to God, on Genesis 3. The phrase Ruach Elohim, Spirit of God, equivalent to 300, is the general height of the initial 7 circles, which form the tree. The common area between the circles, overlapping vertical projection in geometric terms, marked in green, makes up 2 columns of a width of 13. In Gematria, 13 equals to 1, Echad. 2 pillars, Echad plus Echad, 1 plus 1, in Gematria, equals to 26, God's ineffable name, Yehova. And the space left between the columns, marked in yellow, is 73, which means wisdom, Chokhmah. Yehova bechokhmah yasad aretz. The proverb, the Lord by wisdom founded the earth. When we look at the tree, we're standing facing the 2 pillars of the temple, which bring us into a space of Chokhmah, wisdom. In Hebrew, the word hachaim, the life, equals to 73, which is also wisdom, Chokhmah. And so, the tree of life is the tree of wisdom. This, in addition to the presence of God, Elohim 86, like the distance between the right line and the left, 136, voice, kol, from the right, and voice, kol, from the left. וישמעו את קול יהובה אלוהים מתהלך בגן לרוח היום. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden to the spirit of the day. Genesis chapter 3. The voice encircles around the center line. Also, the location of the numbers on the right, middle, or left is premeditated and meaningful. The digits on the right line, 2, 4, 7, add up to 13, and the word echad, 1. Those in the middle, 1, 6, 9, and 10, add up to 26, the name Yehova, the Lord. And those on the left line, 3, 5, 8, add up to 16, meaning Hoveh, present, now. If so, then 1, Echad, Yehova, the Lord, present, now, Hoveh, is the sum of the first 10 digits, 55, which means everything, all, Hakol, and the sea, Hayam, the sea of natural knowledge based on mathematics. If you look at the tree, you see the distance between the left column and the right column, in other words, between wisdom, Chokhmah, and intelligence, Binah, is 86, meaning God, Elohim, and the distance between Malchut, kingdom, and Chokhmah, wisdom, is the same as that between Malchut, kingdom, and Binah, intelligence. Both are 180, the word panim, face. If so, one might now say, Ra'iti Elohim panim el panim. I have seen God face to face. Other distances between the different sefiroth parallel other expressions, such as lev, heart, echad, one, tov, good, binah, understanding. Information of significance is also encrypted in the menorah, lamp, stemming from the tree of life, and by raising the sefiroth upwards, towards panim, face. The horizontal line dividing the circle to two equal parts, 180 degrees. The word menorah, lamp, in Gematria is the word tzura, shape or formation. The verse regarding the commandment to make the menorah, ve'asita menorat sheshet hakanim, and you shall make a menorah with 6 branches, equals to ve'asita tzurat menorat sheshet hakanim. You shall make a menorah of the shape of 6 branches. ve'asita et neroteha, ve'ha'ale et neroteha, ve'ha'ir el ever paneha ha'orot. And thou shall make the lamps thereof 7, and they shall light the lamps thereof to give light over against it. Let's see the 7th sefira, Netzach, eternity. Netzach, eternity, equals Pesach, Passover, equals to 148. Pesach, Passover, is associated with concepts such as freedom, eternity, followed by the giving of the Torah, all related to the exodus from Egypt. The sefira of Netzach, eternity, is attributed to Moses, to the digit 7, to Shabbat, the 7th day, and to Shabtai, Saturn. The concept of 400 years in Egypt signifies the completion of learning the Aleph Bet, 1 to 400. Dividing the circle with a diameter of 1000, Aleph, into 7 equal parts describes the eternal master plan beyond the limitations of time, and reveals the relationship between the dimensions of the pyramid at Giza to the names of God, freedom, the Torah, and the letters of the Hebrew language. The first Hebrew letter, Aleph, 111, the height of the center of the circle over the base of the blue pyramid. Torah, equals to 611, equals to the height of the pyramid itself. Freedom, Chofesh, equals to 388, equals to the distance from the base of the pyramid to the bottom edge of the circle. Other important measurements are Gvura, courage, Isa, lift up, Gan Eden, Garden of Eden. In truth, we're looking at the 7th firmament or 7th heaven, since Shamayim, sky, 390, appear 7 times in pairs, indicating the center and the vortex of this 7-fold geometry. An additional division of the same circle illustrates the spectacle of the burning bush, which lasts forever. Ba'ar ba'esh, burning 272, with fire 301, and above it, Shalom 376. The name Israel 541 appears as an important measurement. It is the length of each side of the purple rhomboid in the center. Israel is found alongside Torah, Chofesh, freedom, courage, Gvura, intelligence, Binah, and heaven, Gan Eden, and the letter Aleph, which becomes Barech, blessing. Aleph plus Aleph equals to 111 plus 111 equals to 222 equals to Barech, bless. The actual dimensions of the Great Pyramid of Giza are obtained by dividing a circle with a radius of 120 into 7. 120 in Gematria is the value of the words Hasneh, the bush, Moed, time, as commemorative date, Amud, pillar, and Chazaka, strong. All expressions are related to the exodus from Egypt, including the 120 years of the life of Moses. The riddle of the measurements of the Great Pyramid in Giza has preoccupied researchers for some 200 years, and I believe that this is the exact solution to the mystery, providing answers about the external dimensions, the side angles, and to the distribution of interior space, galleries, chambers, etc. All of these were designed according to the heptagonal grid in a circle with radius of 120. The term Yad Chazaka, a strong hand, describing the way God pulled Israel out of Egypt, comes from the image of the hands of the clock, where each hand is a radius. If so, then the mystery is solved with a strong hand. The diameter of the moon and that of planet Earth also derive from this heptagonal grid. If we draw a circle of the size of Earth with diameter of 12,727 kilometers and divide it to 7, we'll see how the moon perfectly fits in 7 times. 7 circles with diameter 3,467 kilometers encircling one inner sphere with diameter 1,000. The very same one that, if divided to 7, reveals the pyramid, the Torah, freedom, Aleph, Israel, Shalom, Gvura, courage, heaven, Shamayim, etc. Finally, as I've showed in several examples, there is a natural and geometrical explanation to Kabbalistic terms, names, and phrases in Hebrew. Kabbalistic geometry is a regular geometry that evolves from mathematics and reveals its essence in Hebrew. It is a natural art, objective and scientific, organic art that occurs by itself. It is eternal, continuous, and always in existence, forever true, and it bears meaning in Hebrew, the mythological, sacred language of creation, the language of nature, the language of ELOHIM, Yehova, SHADAI, METYATRON, SAR-TZEVAOT, ANOCHI, Adonai, the language of all of the forces deriving the universe.